PM versus vendor. Team play for success.
I'm Gabriela and I have been a certified bilingual translator English to French and Romanian since 2010. I consider myself a beyond words vendor and I love being close to my PMs.
I'm Lucía Gutiérrez, a localization project manager with almost 10 years of experience. I have worked in many different LSPs with many different hats, but always focusing on project management, as it is the job I enjoy the most.
Hello everyone. Hello Lucía.
Hi Gabriela. Hello everyone.
We are back with another episode and it's a special one. It's an episode that we wanted to record before the winter break, but life happens and project happens. So I'm grateful as a vendor, but it was a tricky period. So we prefer to wait and come back fresh and answer your questions.
Yeah, we all know that the end of the year might be a tricky period, and then everyone likes to spend time with the family or get some holidays, or also the viruses are in the air, so you might get sick, and such is life. So let's get started with the questions. Thank you everyone for submitting the questions. We are really happy that we got something to record, really. And let's start with the first one. So this one is from Andrea T. Egeresi. Sorry if my pronunciation is not right. I try my best. And she was asking why translation companies recruit so many vendors they never contact again. So here there are different types of reasons. One might be that the vendor manager or the project manager, depending on the company policy, they might be doing different types of recruitment. They might be doing the proactive recruitment or the reactive recruitment. The difference between them two is that the reactive recruitment is when you already have a specific project at hand, then you go and recruit some translators, and then you use them right away. Proactive recruitment might be because you get an RFP, or you realize you only have one vendor for that language pair. So you do a recruitment just in case the project goes ahead, or just in case that one translator that you have for that language pair is not available, you might have other opportunities with other vendors. And in these cases, if the RFP doesn't go ahead, then the translators won't get contacted. If your one translator is available, then the other translators most likely won't get contacted neither. So that might be one. Another thing might be that some CAT tools, they only show vendor profiles if they are rated as preferred, or if they have a specific tag for certain clients, because that's the setting the CAT tool has. So if you are not in the preferred group, then you won't show up for the PMs. So the PMs are not even aware that you are there in the database. That might be another reason. I'm not judging this. I'm not judging if this is good or if this is bad. I'm just explaining why this might happen, no? Also, it might be that there is no vendor manager at all in the company. So one PM recruits one vendor for one specific project, and it doesn't get used because the project doesn't go ahead. And then the other PMs, they don't even know this translator got recruited. Yeah. So that might be another one. And the last one, which is not least important, is that especially large LSPs, they do a lot of recruitment just to show to the clients that they have a lot of vendors in their database, so they are covered for any specific needs they might have. So this is a marketing strategy. So because of all this, there are reasons why this might happen. In any case, we discussed this in length in a previous episode where we were talking about the differences between vendor and project managers. And this is our episode number 12 that is called You and Me, if you want to know more about all this.
Yeah.
So, Gabriela,
No,
what do you think about
it's interesting, and I actually have a question. You know that I always have a lot of questions for you, but I think you mentioned it in the previous episode. But tell us again: should translators, vendors nudge the PMs, or is it too pushy? How should we contact them? Because it happened a lot, and sometimes I send an email to ask if the onboarding process was okay, etc. Sometimes I received a reply, but sometimes I didn't receive anything from their side. So what's your opinion on that?
My opinion is that you can chase the vendor manager because that's why they are there for. I would chase maybe once every quarter, not to be like too pushy. Once a quarter, I think it's something normal. If you were lucky to get in touch with a PM, then you can do the same with the PM. But sometimes you are not lucky to get in touch with the PM because you didn't even have that one project. Now, don't chase the PMs as much as you would do with vendor managers, because vendor managers, they are there for you, for the vendors. PMs, not so much. I
Okay,
hope
yes.
I answered.
Yeah. For me personally, I think I only been in touch with a couple of vendor managers. Almost all my contact interactions with LSPs were with project managers. I don't know why. Maybe not every LSP hires a vendor management. I don't know.
That's correct. A lot of LSPs don't have vendor managers because there are many CEOs that they consider them a waste of money.
Yeah, and I think that the fact that they don't hire the vendor manager, so the PM takes that role, and vendors, as myself, start sending emails to the project manager about the project, it will create this
Friction.
exactly that we want to highlight and avoid in this podcast. And maybe I think LSP should realize that these frictions come from the fact that vendors, they go straight to the PM for things that they shouldn't go. No, I don't know how to explain, or if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I remember we already discussed this, and that's why
Mhm.
we decided to record the episode of the differences between a project manager and a vendor manager, because really the vendor manager adds value to an LSP.
Yeah. So I think people listening to us, they should check that episode to see the differences, because every role has its benefits, and it helps for the communication, because yeah, at the end of the day, we are all humans, so we can't do everything.
Yeah.
We have another question from Amulia that I met during the AI summit. She's asking about do you generate style guides and analyze documents before sharing the source file with the translator? So what do you think, Lucia?
Short answer is only if the client asks for it. That's the short answer. Why? Because generating a style guide, it takes time. Time means money. And there are many LSPs that they don't give time for free. If it's a very big client, if it's a very big project, then a PM should push for a style guide. And it might get done, it might not get done. As I said, this depends on the company policy, if they decide to do things for free or not, or if they decide to charge the client and the client accepts. Now, analyzing the source files, it is the same stuff. Time means money. If it's a very big file, imagine we're talking about a 20 pages file. No, nobody will analyze that unless the client pays for it.
Yeah.
I would say sometimes I might analyze a file if I had issues in the past with this client. But it has to be something that is brief and it doesn't take a lot of time, because otherwise PMs don't have the time, they don't get allocated that time to do it.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I learned something today. From a vendor side, we love style guides. You know that because when we have some written instructions, we can provide a better translation localization. You know that without context. But sometimes I receive some style guides, as you said, 25-page long with a lot of information that maybe it's not used for all the jobs. So when it comes to style guides, I think we need to be very to the point. We have this brand, we have this client. It's a brand for this market or these several markets. They want informal or formal tone. They want it to be more to the point. They want it to be more professional, etc. Because when you choose to work with a professional vendor, and I know what you're going to say, that not everyone is so responsible. Not all the vendors are so responsible, or they want to provide an accurate translation. I know there are some different opinions, but when you know your vendor, you know that you can trust them. Because I have this issue now, or at least I had it last year, at the end of last year, when an LSP had a new client who was disappointed by another LSP, and they insisted so much with a lot of emails about the style guide, about that how we need to justify our translations. Yes, that it was too much, and the word count was not even 100 words. But we have to justify why we choose to translate like this. If we want to change a word that was from a previous translation that they weren't happy with it, we have to explain, and it was too much. Because when you really trust the vendor, give them a bit of freedom. I don't know, I'm wrong, I'm not wrong. I don't know.
Well, you said a lot of things. I can tell you, for example, sometimes projects are not as straightforward to have a simple style guide. When you were saying like one style guide per project, I was thinking, some years ago, I used to work with a client that used to take care of hotels, and they had two different types of hotels, the casual ones and the luxury ones. And they had different style guides because obviously they were different brands. And the luxury one, they wanted to address people as formal. With the casual ones, they wanted it to be more casual. They even had like different glossaries. So for this client, for example, I had set vendors. So what I did was to share the style guides that I received from the client, because they were content style guides. They were not translation style guides. And I shared with them and I said, okay, in every project, I will tell you whether this is luxury or if this is casual. But I'm not sharing the style guides with you in every single project. In this case, yeah, there was a lot of documentation to study, but it was also worth it because the client was sending a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I also want to highlight something when it comes from the vendor LSP work relationship regarding style guides. Sometimes you have LSPs that pay for this time that you allocate to studying the style guides, the resources, etc. But you also have LSPs who don't pay for this time. I don't know what to say, really, because I had both situations, and the ones that they didn't pay, I have worked with them even now each month. So that time it's okay, even if it was not paid. But if you have to study a lot of documentation and you don't have enough work, I don't think it's fair. So I don't know.
Okay, I've got one tip for vendors and PMs alike. And this is something that I used to do. I used to have a template for creating style guides. So I used to have a template that it was like a questionnaire, that it had like tone, formal or informal, currencies, do you want to leave the source or do you want to localize, Numbers, do you want to localize the decimal comma or not? Names, do you want to leave them untranslated or not? I had a whole list of set of issues that
Like a
you
checklist.
might.
Yeah,
that's it. So if you have that, if you work on that and you have it, you've got two options as a vendor. One, to just go to ChatGPT, maybe get the style guide you received from the PM and ask ChatGPT to fill in your questionnaire. And voila, you've got the important stuff you need. You don't have to study the whole style guide. You just need to read it through and that's it. But the summary, you've got it in your formula, in your questionnaire. And for PMs, you can share that questions with the vendor, with the client, and say, listen, in order to generate a quality translation, I would need to know this.
The main
Then
stuff.
you put the questions that are relevant to the text. The ones that are not, you take them out, not to create noise. And this is something that clients might fill in because it's easy. They don't have to write full paragraphs. They just need to tick one or two or whatever, or just write a simple sentence. That
This is
might
smart.
help. It helped me in the past.
It's smart because not every client has a style guide. Not every brand. This I can tell as a localizer. I can tell you not every brand has the style guide, and that's a pity. But as a vendor, at least a vendor with experience, I have my own style guide, at least in my head. Even if the client doesn't send the style guide, I have the style guide in my head. But having a checklist, that's a smart advice. So yeah, I will keep it in mind. We have another question from Amulia. It's have you automated the pre-translation process? If yes, how have you done it? What tools do you use? Tools. Everyone's talking about tools.
Okay, well, the pre-translation process, it's a really general term, and I'm not really sure what Amulia means. So I'm going to try and answer the question as much as I can. To me, the pre-translation step is a purely linguistical thing. It's not about the brief with the client, because that happens before. That's the planning stage of a project. And to me, the pre-translation goes into the production phase of the project. So to me, the pre-translation would be to analyze the source text, for example. And as I said, we rarely do this unless it's localization that you need to at least open the text and check for the tags, if they are well done or not. If you might need to do some regex or not. If it's localization, it might be different, the same as gaming. But if it's marketing, most of the time, you just open the file to check that there is content there, and that's it. Yeah. Glossaries and TMs, how you need to connect them. Yeah, I normally do this in the cut tools that you are using. And you can have templates in some cut tools. Like, for example, I used to work with Phrase last year a lot, and you can have some templates where you already have the TMs connected, the glossaries connected, the style guides connected, and you don't have to connect them time and time again. That will save you time. For machine translation, in the past, this used to be a separate step. I remember that I used to generate the XLIF and then take it to the MT engine, pre-translate, and then upload it again to the cut tool. Now, most of the time, it's already connected, so you don't really have to do anything. The style guide, I will connect it if I have it. And then the last step that I don't know if you still get it or not, but you might get some XLIF files from companies, from some LSPs instead of the online cut tools. In these XLIF files, you can decide whether you want to share the pre-translations already from the TM with the vendor or not. You might want to share them so that they can check on them. You might want to share only the 100% matches because they should already have the TM. It depends on the project.
Yeah. No, it's different from a vendor side or a PM side. It's very different. because from my side of the screen, I have three cases, at least based on my experience. For example, with the LSPs, everything you are doing everything. You as a PM, you are doing everything. I'm just here to translate. Maybe if I see things that were not about the tags, if I see that a lot of tag issues, etc., yes, I can give my opinion or I can leave a comment. Or if sometimes there are some cat tools that break paragraphs, etc., so I can advise on that. But in almost all the cases, is the PM does the pre-automation stuff. When it comes to direct clients, I have two types: the ones that use cat tools like Phrase or XTM, yes, or SmartCat. So it's almost the same thing. Everything is pre-automated. And you have the ones that send you a Word file or XFL file. There is no pre-automation. You directly have to work. And my third case as a translator is certified translation, where there is no pre-automation, because until today we don't have a real reliable tool to extract the text from a scan file, for example. I tried everything, even the paid tools, the free tools. ChatGPT, it's very sensitive, so you can't really use it for administration documents. So until today, pre-automation for certified translation is almost zero, yet nothing. So yeah, that's from my side. So I think.
Oh, I was also thinking, Gabby, that I forgot to mention that, yeah, PMs do prepare files, especially Excel files, by hiding columns or rearranging some stuff, deleting formulas and things like that. But
This is
to me,
why
it's
I'm
basic.
And this is why I'm not a PM, because I will not have the patience to do that. My job is to work with the words, not with the file. And this is why when LSPs choose a certain cat tool, because there are some nasty cat tools, we always complain. But we don't want to complain. It's just because it's time consuming, and many projects are paid per word, and we spend a lot of time with a tool that is not very smart. You have crowding, it's a good tool. For example, I don't want to make publicity or Phrase, but there are others that are very time consuming. So yeah, pre-automation helps when it's done with a good tool. I don't know if you agree.
Yes, I agree.
And we have the last question is from NASA. NASA, we love her. NASA, and she's asking us what has been the most rocambolesque request from a vendor. This is, for example, for you, from a vendor. What did you receive?
Okay. Well, I have to say I've worked with NASA, and her full name is Nazaret Lázaro, just in case.
Yes.
I had a lot of crazy requests or crazy stuff in general coming from vendors. I remember one that to me it wasn't crazy, like from the vendor point of view, but from the PM point of view, it was a pain in the ass, because it was a new vendor that I was recruiting for a project, and he asked to be paid for the test. And I said, okay, yeah, we can pay for it. Then he sent me another email saying, oh, I wanna get paid beforehand. And I was like, let me check on that. Then I said, like, okay, we can give you 50% upfront payment. And then he said, like, no, I want the 100% and I want it to be done via Revolut. And I was like, okay, bye-bye. Why this is crazy from the PM point of view? Too many emails, I've already said it. Too many requests. You're new. I'm not going to make any concessions to you. I'm really sorry, unless I'm really desperate. So there are more fishes in the sea. Bye-bye. That's one. Then another one, I remember already talking about this. And there used to be a translator that used to send me the back translations that she was doing for me to check. if the translation was done properly. To me, that's crazy. Like, listen, I don't speak your language. You are doing a back translation on a marketing text that needs to get some kind of feeling as well. I cannot tell you. You are the expert. Why do I have to check that? So, yeah. And then the last one, I remember once I got a file from a vendor and it was all a mess. Like all the formatting was a mess, and the tags were not in place. It was a mess. So I sent it back to the vendor, and I said, like, listen, I think this hasn't been QA'd because the tags are all over the place. And then the answer I got was like, oh, well, you didn't ask for it, so I didn't do it.
But there are a lot of vendors that don't do the QA. Yeah, I told you before. We talked about it.
Yes, but to me, part of being a professional means that you need to do a QA before delivery.
I know.
Gabriel, sorry.
I know. No. I agree with you. I do it. I do it. But I also learned it the hard way. And I'm also part of a multilingual projects. So I know that not every vendor does the QA in the CAT tool. I know it's sad,
Yeah.
but if you can add that to the email, that would be okay. No, you don't want to add it? Just put it. Don't forget to do the
No,
QA.
I don't want to add something that I consider obvious. No.
I don't agree with you. Rarely we don't agree.
I don't want to infantilize. Is that how you say it? I don't want to
Yeah.
treat vendors as kids.
Yes, but maybe no. For example, if I see it, I found it okay. I'm not taking it bad, even if for me it's obvious. Maybe they are. Let's take an example. Maybe a translator with 30 years of experience who didn't have the chance to use a lot of tools is not accustomed to the new rules. Maybe the younger translators, for them, it's using the QA step. It's like obvious, but maybe someone who is starting with the tools is not so obvious. No, do you see what I'm trying
No,
to?
I don't buy it. I don't
No.
buy it because cat tools have been here for more than a decade already. So no, I don't buy it.
For me, if I see the phrase "don't forget to do the QA step," I found it okay. I found it normal. No.
Yeah, but it's one more sentence that it adds up to an email that might already belong. No, sorry, Gabby, I'm not buying this one.
So if you are working with Lucia, do your QA. Mandatory.
Yes.
Just skip it. No, it's good. It's good that we are saying this stuff because as we said, for example, I always thought that PMs, we talked about it in a previous episode, but I always thought that PMs are ghosting vendors, and you told us that even vendor ghost PMs. I never thought that I will hear that one day. For me, it
Yes.
was a
Yes.
bit of shock. When it comes to shocks, I had one last month when a PM, I had a lot of questions. I think that some PMs don't like me because I ask a lot of questions, and I had some questions about a document that had some formatting issues, and the PM was like, "You need to resolve it with the reviewer," and it was a shock because it was a shock because I can't go to the reviewer. I know who is the reviewer, but I can't go to them. I have to tell all the issues to the PM, and the PM maybe I don't know, gives a solution or something.
Yeah, or the PM answers with the reviewer in CC so that you can talk together and discuss, but with the PM being involved.
Exactly. This was the first time for me when the PM was not so implicated in the sense that they didn't want to be in the discussion, because in general they want to be in the discussion. They want to be all over the discussion. So it was a first for me. Another thing, I think not last year, but maybe several years ago, was when a PM told me not to contact. Actually, when I have questions, I should not contact the reviewer. I should, because it was a 3-step translation, proofreading, or revision, and again last time back to me to see the reviewers' changes. And I was asked not to reply to the reviewers' comments, but to ask the PM to talk. I don't know. It's so complicated that I still can't explain it. So yeah, that was. I think what I'm trying to say is there are a lot of communication issues because people don't want to communicate. I don't know, or maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. Maybe I talk too
Yeah,
much.
and every workflow is different, so you really don't know if it's good to contact the reviewer or not, because you had these two different occasions with two different outcomes. Yeah, I get it. I get it. In this case, you were acting as the reviewer because you were the last step of the linguistic
Yeah,
process.
we have that for some LSPs. Have the 3 steps. I think half of my LSPs have the 2 steps: translation, revision, and sometimes they switch. Sometimes I'm the translator, sometimes I'm the reviewer. But I have LSPs that have the 3 steps. For example, I do the translation, someone reviews it, and then it goes back to me to see the changes if they are from the translator, for example, from the reviewer, sorry. And in that case, when you do that 3 steps, I think you should allow more freedom. And I think I thought I said it before, to the linguist, because it's for the common good. No, it's for the client. I don't
And
know.
you should allow vendors, that's my take, you should allow vendors to talk to each other. Because it's
Yes.
not the same translating isolated or translating with another person. You can ask, listen, what do you think of this? I've got these 2 options. What would you choose? You can have more discussion and you've got more eyes on the project.
Yeah, this is happening with an LSP from Slovenia. You see, it's a middle country, small country, not a very big country, but they have really they have a very human LSP, and for 2 clients we are only 2, and we talk to each other, and the client is always happy, and sometimes they send 50 pages, PDF pages, because it's marketing translation, and they never complain. But we talk to each other with the reviewer. Sometimes the PM just sends the task, and if we have questions between us, we talk. And I have another LSP from the QUK. We talk via Slack. So I don't understand. So you tell me, why there are so many LSPs that are stuck in the communication bubble? I
There are
don't know.
some control freaks out there, and there are some people that they tend to believe that if you have everything under your umbrella, nothing escapes. And that is true, but it also kills creativity and it kills collaboration.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell you.
I-
But I was thinking, like, what do you think if somebody or us, I don't care, start a group on LinkedIn with all these type of crazy things? Like maybe PMs can give the point of view or vendors can give the point of view. I think it would be nice.
it will be useful, not nice. It will be useful because we are all, as my mother, my mother told me 2 days ago, because she had a small accident. Someone bumped into her car, and she was talking with the insurance company, and she said something like, "Everyone is behind the screen nowadays. How can I manage? I'm not used to screens." So we are all behind our screens, and we should realize that we need a human conversation more than ever. So yeah, that group for me, it's not good, it's necessary. We should do
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
we can do it, or maybe one person from our audience wants to do it. Let us know if you think it would be like a good group, if you would participate on it, and if we see some feedback, maybe we can create it.
Yeah, and we wish you a happy new year, a healthy one, a productive one. And I have a feeling that this year things will change. We will let the AI fear, and we will choose more communication.
Hopefully, fingers crossed that this year is a little bit more human than 2025 after all the AI hype.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No.
let us know.
Yeah, no,
Let
no.
us know what you think of this episode. Let us know what you think of the answers. And if you have any other questions, we can do another Q&A. And keep in touch. Thank
Exactly.
you.
Bye-bye. Till next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What you've heard are just our personal opinions. We by no means intend to impose our personal views on anyone. Feel free to disagree, throw tomatoes at us, or just drop a comment to let us know. Thank you!